Tyron Smith, 13 years with the Dallas Cowboys, now a member of the New York Jets. A surprising decision for the Jets last week when Smith took the offer that was on the table. The offer was one that the Jets thought was not going to ultimately be competitive. They thought that this was just something that Smith was doing to build leverage elsewhere, whether in Dallas or with some other team. When he took it, they were surprised. Here's Tyron Smith from Thursday talking about his decision to join the wall of blockers who will be charged with keeping Aaron Rodgers healthy in 2024.
This is definitely a huge change for me, especially being in Dallas for a while. And, everybody knows how the business goes. And, sometimes you got to leave. I'm just happy I'm going to be going to a team like the Jets to help out any way I can to help them, to produce a winning culture. I just feel like they have all the pieces together right now, and they can, the final pieces in this offseason to produce, a team that could go all the way.
Tyron Smith joins John Simpson and Morgan Moses as two new members of the offensive line, 3 total. Obviously, math is difficult for me at times. In New York, they needed to address that aspect of their team. The Jets have always been inclined to build from the outside in, at least in the recent past. You got to build from the inside out. You got to shore up that offensive line. If you want to get the most out of Aaron Rodgers, he can't be running for his life. In the 4 snaps that he played last year, before his Achilles tendon literally snapped, he was running for his life. He didn't have time to set up. He wasn't able to do anything. So they need to protect him. And they have added guys that presumably, if healthy, will do it. Now, Tyron Smith was a second-team All-Pro last year, but there have been issues regarding durability for him. That's why his contract is so heavily tilted toward playing time. $6.5 million guaranteed, but another $12 million tied to a formula that is just, hey, if you get to this percentage of offensive snaps, you get some more. You get to this percentage, you get some more. You get to this percentage, you get some more. And it keeps building and building and building. There's 2 levels of incentive packages. There's one, it maxes out, and then there's another one that kicks in. It goes all the way up to 98%. If he's on the field for 98% of the snaps for the Jets in 2024, he gets $12 million on top of the $6.5 million. He gets up to $1 million for playoff wins and $500,000 if he makes it to the Pro Bowl, or more accurately, the Pro Bowl games. It is hard to envision him playing for a team other than the Cowboys. 13 years with the Cowboys. Came into the NFL at the age of 20, was one of the key pieces of what was the best offensive line in football not all that long ago, but it is fading into the rearview mirror here. Tyron Smith is on the fact that his Cowboys experience is fading into his own personal rearview mirror.
You had a good year last year, and I think you made second team All-Pro. Given that, are you surprised that the Cowboys didn't make a stronger effort to keep you?
No, I'm, after being in this game for a long time, I just know that it's the way the business goes. And sometimes you keep guys, sometimes you keep guys, sometimes you can't. And it's just some guys got to move on. So not surprised at all. And, just got to take it for what it's worth, and you end up where you need to be.
Oh, the all-in Dallas Cowboys. They're all in this year. All in. What does all in mean? Whatever Jerry Jones wants it to mean. Whatever it means in any given occasion where he's answering the question with enough words so that it feels like a satisfactory answer, even if it isn't, and he'll take the next question. Tyron Smith, out. Not a whole lot of guys in for the Dallas Cowboys. Back to the cheapest possible options. Tyron Smith. Any thoughts on Tyron Smith and his $6.5 million base contract with $13.5 million upside to join the New York Jets and leave the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, yeah, I mean, and obviously I don't know what you said about it, but I just think that generally the Jets' offensive line situation is interesting. And just looking at some of the general additions that they made to their offense, I mean, you've got a lot of guys that were hurt, right? I mean, not just Tyron Smith, who had a less injured year last year than he's had in the last few, but I mean, Morgan Moses just talked about how he was playing with a torn pec. John Simpson, yeah, he was healthy, but then Mike Williams coming off the ACL. It's like, I don't know what the Jets are going to be in general. I don't know what that offense is going to be because, in theory, you could have a distracted quarterback, but, the quarterback apparently is not distracted, but he could be distracted, but, whatever that is. But then also, I mean, you can just look at Mike Williams like, yeah, he's good when he's healthy. It's great when he's healthy, potentially. He is a good number 2 to Garrett Wilson. But I don't know what that thing is going to look like because you've got also Nathaniel Hackett calling plays. So between all of those different elements, the Jets are such an unknown and they're a curiosity, but also I guess because of their quarterback, I'm burnt out on them. So if they end up being very good, like that's nice, but it's almost like I really need to see it proven. Because also the quarterback is coming off a torn Achilles, despite the fact that he wanted us to think he was healthy at the end of the year.
Well, I'm not going to say anything about the quarterback of the New York Jets. I've said everything that I plan to say about him until we actually see him play more than 4 snaps in their Week 1 game. The Jets, though, overall, they kind of like, from what I've picked up, the vibe around the team this year. Last year, the expectations were too high. This year, the team might actually be better when it's time to get started, and the expectations are so much lower. And this is like one of the boxes we check as we get closer to the start of the season. Inevitably, I will have the occasion to say, and actually that occasion for the first time in 2024 is now. It's always better to have low expectations than high expectations. When you have low expectations, number one, your players don't get swelled heads. They don't think they're better than they are. And you can use the low expectations as ammunition to put chips on their shoulder. It's a double whammy, and both are good for the team. The Jets love this. They would like as many games as possible at 1 o'clock Eastern on Sunday, although I still think the presence of Aaron Rodgers is going to pull them into prime time and into other windows more often. But ideally, it's every Sunday that we play at 1 o'clock Eastern, like the Texans last year until they were so good they got moved to the late afternoon later in the year. So that's what a team would like, and I think the Jets are happy to have this. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.